No, it's fine. I got you. We're recording now. Okay. So, one of the things I feel like you have to kind of remember is that like this process is very like step oriented. And there's been a lot of times with pieces where I've gotten to like a point like this where I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, I'm over it. And I have to just leave it. And then one or two things happen for me. Okay. So I either decide how to solve, it's like a puzzle. It's like how to solve this and make it work, or how to scrape, or I just scrape back. Okay. So those are like your two decisions. So you're either going to think like, you're either going to get like a strategy of a solution, or you're just, or the other answer is scrape back. So
Right.
there's certain parts of it that I really like on the right side, all the white, all the top right corner, actually both the top right corners and left corners I really like. Also the bottom left corner I really like. Okay, so I'm going to use my cursor. So this I like, this I like, this I like. So what I feel like is not happening is sort of like her connection to this environment, because like right now it looks like she's in grass, because it looks like not like water. It looks like she's kind of like laying in a form. So you want to sort of emulate more of a watery translucent. So in your encaustic vocabulary, you could start to think about, how do I get that? So one of the ways that and it's funny because you literally wrote to me about using the heat gun and getting it to be like water, right? So when I look at this piece, I don't see water. I see a field or like a meadow, right? But it's in black and white, right? So one of the things you could use wax medium, and you can go over like the edges, so that you could use wax medium to kind of like start to take her clothing outside. Another thing you could do is lace or fabric and sort of make her dress go over this black. So it's almost like here's the black, here's the black, and here's her body, right? But you want fabric to kind of come off her body and go over the black, especially on this side.
Right.
And then what's I think confusing for you over here is that maybe it's just too black and white.
Yeah, I don't like white.
So what you can do is you can just go over, you don't have to get rid of that. You could literally just go over that with black pigment stick, not black encaustic, because black encaustic would just be too hard and too thick. So you could really blend, right? You know, and I think just wax medium will give you what you want in terms of the dress, and maybe a little bit of lace texture.
Well, so on that lower right side, which, I really don't like that.
That needs to go dark.
So instead of black, but I would use like a neutral gray. Or mix
You could just
with
literally well, also, okay, so another thing too is that her hair is gone.
Yeah, right.
So let's start with something very simple. Do you have any like small, do you have any small paint brushes?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so if you could grab a small paintbrush. And I mean, I love to like paint dresses all the time, right? So one of the things you could do is do you have a black or a dark gray or even a brown pigment stick?
Yes. Yeah, okay. I have all of those.
Okay, so so I'm going to take, do you want me to stay on screen share, or do you want me to be watching you as you're painting?
I don't know if I can set that up so you watch while I'm painting. I guess, would I have to tip it down? Let's see, maybe if I take some of these off here. Well, so Leah, to me, it's like I do want to give a try at fixing this.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me that just, all of a sudden I realized this is not what I want for this picture. What I want is what you were saying, is where there's not as much texture, more of the photo comes through. So it's less dense wax.
Okay.
And then try to do the water with that thing I was doing with the flowers with the 50-50 blend. But having said that, I do want to work with what you're going to be showing me about how to fix something. But it just made me realize I really like, because I'm a photographer, I really like more of the photography side as I'm trying to learn more about the art side.
Yep. So again, like if you were in Photoshop right now and not in physical waxing, right?
Right.
You would be able to maybe use a tool and you could choose the opacity of that tool.
Right.
And you would be able to blend this wax layer with your photograph until you found that it was speaking to you. Right. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what I'm hearing you say is that the wax is overpowering. The wax and the wax texture is overpowering the photo. So, so you just answered your own question, right? And so when I started out talking to you today, I said, when you get to a point like this with a piece, you have two options. Right. One, you blend or work with it as you have. So you just kind of like tone it, use color and sort of your paintbrush to kind of like push and pull the image, or you have to subtract. So based on what you just said, I'm sensing that you would prefer to subtract.
Well, actually, no, I want to learn how to do it by doing what you just said, doing the gray, maybe adding the lace down at the hem, maybe, showing more of, learn how to fix this. And then I was thinking, not even scraping this, but take another one of the prints, the beautiful prints you made.
Yeah.
And then start and
over another one.
Start over, do more, how to, you were talking about depth of field with the wax. So have more depth of field, so we see more of the photograph and work with that.
Okay.
So and then try and do the water thing in a different way. So, but for today, I do want to learn how I can fix this, because it's like a mess.
So let's fix it. Okay, so if we're gonna fix this, I do think you should have a palette knife or a pottery tool. I think you should have a paintbrush, and I think you should have some wax ready, and I think that you should have your heat gun ready.
Okay.
All
right. Let me get the gray. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, hang on. Get the pigment stick. Okay. So I think, I guess I've just been applying the pigment stick. Actually, I have this, the computer arched down, so you might be able to see me painting.
Yeah, I'm going to stop the share because I'd rather just see what you're doing. Yeah, I'm only getting like the bottom inch of your piece.
The bottom inch. God, I don't know how to tilt this more so it's safe.
I think that's good. Oh, that's good right there.
Okay. Yep. All right.
And can you, yep, that's good. Okay. So what I would do is I would start with her hair. Let's focus on her.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's focus on her. Let's work on her. And I think you could take the scraper tool, whatever scraper tool you feel the most confident with. And I want you to scrape away the wax along her hair.
Okay. I think I have to see it to get the right.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, there, because I think that line, you want to blend. So think about blending in Photoshop or burning and dodging, just blending. And also what helps me with blending is maybe switching directions. So if I'm subtracting like vertically, then I might rotate and subtract horizontally, like, and
Should I warm the wax, not hot, but should I warm it up because it's pretty cold right now?
if you warm it, you're gonna be aggressively moving it more. I like to do it. I like to do it
Okay.
slowly, but like you're using a pottery tool, and like I like to use a palette knife. Do you have a palette knife?
Palette knife. That's the metal tool.
Yeah.
Can
I
you
find
show-
that the pottery tool gets too like liney.
Yeah.
Like, it digs in too deeply.
Is that a pottery tool?
This is no, this is a palette knife. This is a palette knife. If you don't have one, you can use that other tool. These are palette knives. So they're actually
okay. Yeah.
they're actually used for smushing oil paint actually on a palette.
Okay. Yeah, so I do have those.
So, and the reason that I like them is especially, yes, I feel like you're gonna get a smoother, and we're not really interested in creating another texture here. We're just interested in revealing the photo. So actually, moving the wax. And look, I'm working on one too, right? So I'm working on this one. And like, I don't like the fact I need to bring back her face, right? So I want her to be ghosty, but I don't want her to be completely covered. So like I'm working on this one and I'm just using the palette knife, right? And then every once in a while, if you feel like your lines are too rigid, you could just take the heat gun and hit it gently with the heat gun to smooth those lines out.
Melded it, okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you need to use not just one technique consistently, but you need to kind of merge the techniques, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel like that wax is too stiff for you, you can definitely hit it with the heat gun to make it softer.
Yeah, this is more like if I had a razor blade, because it's a little chilly in here.
Well, I don't want you to use a razor blade because it's just
No.
It's too rough.
Yeah.
Too severe. And I don't want you to scratch the photo or. So if you feel like it's not moving nicely enough for you, you can definitely give it a little.
I'm going to give it a little hit.
It's like horseback riding, right? You can give it a little tap if they're not responding to you in the way that you like. You can give them a little tap, right? Just say, hey, wake up, pay attention to me. I'm here and I'm the boss. Yep. Now try it.
Yeah.
And another thing too, Pam, did you see, look, if sometimes if I have like a gouge, you can actually just take your finger and you can actually just rub out like a imperfection. Like if there's like a line or you can just actually rub it with your finger. It's kind of nice because the friction of your finger on the wax makes heat. And then that heat can be used to blend a scratch or a gouge or something.
Well, I think the other thing I do is sometimes I'll take a little, these little bits of wax, and I'll put it back in and smudge it down.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. That's a beautiful technique. Love that. Yep. And then that's, and these things are things that you kind of want to go back and forward with. Like, you don't ever just want to be in like one headspace, all the time. You want to kind of be, as you get more confidence and you get more familiar, you want to be like consistently blending these techniques.
Okay.
So I'm liking it better. So, and now you just want that hard line of sort of like photo reveal and wax, like where those lines connect, you want them to blend softly. So one of the other things you could do is just like I said, continue to rotate your panel as you're working so that you're working in it on a circular, right? On a circular rather than just in one direction, right? Because have you ever been to the beach, especially like on the West Coast, and all the trees are like bent over because the wind is consistently
You should see this where we are. We have quote vortexes, and the trees are twisted around like.
Oh, by the wind?
Oh,
Oh, wow.
well, it may. It's not so much wind because we don't get that. I don't know. Well, people here say it's the energy, but I
Twisted
don't know if
energy.
it's that. But it's really a thing to see these
Wow.
tree trunks. It's very beautiful.
Wow. Huh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah.
Okay, so, right, and if you feel like the wax is too rigid or it's being sticky or uncooperative, again, you can, hit it with the heat gun, right?
Okay.
And if it's getting close, then the next thing, or if you feel like you're liking the way it looks, the next thing we're gonna do is paint with pigment stick, right? So if you have sort of a hard line there, you just try to, metaphorically break it up. Like, yep. And I feel like her hair, and also like fabricate it a little bit. Like, you don't have to be literal, like dot to dot about what the photo is doing. Like I like to always exaggerate or, embellish, whichever one of those words you like.
That's the art part.
Right. So her hair, right, because her hair is whatever her hair is, but like if she's our dream model, she's got 6 feet of hair, right? I mean,
I could do some black to. Well, let me just get this part first. Here's another problem that I've had. I didn't put I don't like the way I put the gesso on at the very beginning. And
but that is not a problem. There are so many things that can hide that. I mean, there are so many things that I never, see, like I'm never intimidated by that. I just figure out a way. Again, like, do you remember when we spotted in the dark room? I mean, how much, how much we have to sort of like utilize in our heads, all of our, photo masking, photo blending, photo correcting techniques, to kind of get this feel that we like. And remember, just because I do what I do, you still have to find your own voice in this. You have to find your own self-expression within this medium, right? So it's challenging to be learning a new medium and learning what you like at the same time, right?
But I'm finding actually with this one, working with this and then, the other ones I was working with this week, that was really good because, like I'm still learning the technique, but I'm also realizing, if my strength right now as a photographer, then at the very beginning you said keep it simple, yeah. So I'm seeing, okay, I want to see more of the photograph to show through. At this point, oh no, I think I need the heat gun because that's getting too messy.
Okay. So, and I think, and like, again, when you start to struggle in any way, that's a sign to me that you need to move on to the next thing. Right. So, and that's not to say that I avoid conflict, although I tend honestly now at this point in my life to avoid conflict, but that's okay. I mean, I always have to weigh it out. Am I really losing anything? But most of the time I'm like, no, just avoid the conflict because I mean, I'm the adult, right? I'm the more mature person in most of my relationships, and I just don't care. So I'd rather save face and not have traumatic experiences. Okay, so let's look now. So I still feel like that one line at the back of her head is too cookie cutter. So I want you to just go like on the other side. Yeah, on the dark side. I want you to just go like as if it was really long and wavy or something. Like you're doing a really nice curved line on her head, but you're making it like a basket. Make it like wild hair. I want wild hair. Yep. Yep, exactly like that. And just blend those lines out. Yep. Perfect. Okay, and then that's good enough. So then what we're gonna do, the rest of her hair is we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna do pigment stick with paintbrush.
Okay. Do I heat the pigment on the hot plate?
No, pigment stick with heat. No, pigment stick and paintbrush.
Okay.
So it could be And now listen, it could be gray, it could be brown, it could be blue, like her hair could be any color. If you wanted to add a brown, if you have like a sepia brown, her hair could be brown.
Yeah, I think I'll just do the black with the gray on this.
Okay, so I want you to specifically go over and focus on the edge. So we're focusing on how the wax and the photo are connecting, and we want them to be seamless, as if they're just flowing into each other. So we really want to focus on creating flow and like translucency and movement, because she is in water. So what happens when the wax cools and it hardens into a firm texture? That texture, you're like, oh shit, yeah, that's hard texture. Like, I don't love it.
Right.
It's not watery, right? It's not what I want. So then we got to go, okay, so how do I kind of evoke, right? I'm not literally going to have water there, but how do I evoke water back into it? So one of the ways is just blending those layers and maybe painting, you know, like kind of in a swirly fashion.
I tried putting more highlights in, like, but I don't. It just didn't. It wasn't. Yeah, it didn't work.
Well, right. Let's just try to get the.
So I'm having a problem right now because the pigment stick. I can't get it out of the.
Oh, that plastic thing. I hate those things. I just cut them down the middle. I cut them down the side with a razor blade.
Yeah, okay. Let's see.
I can't deal with those things. Those are like the kinds of things that hold people back. I'm like, I can't. So I just get out I just get a razor blade and I slit that tube.
I'm just dumping some here. And also, it's so hard. I'm gonna heat it a little bit because so I can get it in there. And then this one I can get. I'm actually putting a little bit on the plate just to soften it because I couldn't get a brush, and so I want to see the color. I need a little bit of paper. Yeah, okay. It's not black.
I think another thing too that you can start to, and again, this is a photographic thing, but I don't know if you remember in the old days, but like 1 second is like a lot, like, right? Like when you changed a photo exposure, you know, by 1 second, like every move, you know, right. And wavy, you're wavy. I want like wavy. And I want you to blend it, like put it on with a brush and then take a paper towel and blend it. I don't want any hard lines. Like I want you to focus on softness, right? On translucency, on flow, right? Okay. So one of the things about using flow, also use your finger, like after you put the oil pigment stick on, like use your finger and go like up and down, you know, like we're not trying to be literal here. We're trying to create and suggest like fantasy or motion, right? So you want to think of all these sort of like lighter words, which is, you know, I'm sure this is like a huge like mind like confusion, you know, because you're used to like documenting.
Well, no, but it's even with Photoshop, you know, I did some things where, you know, you push the hair out with liquefy or blah.
Right, exactly. Well, right. So that's what we're channeling, like our inner. I always call this like I like to call this like organic Photoshop, where we're like, you know, rather than blending with an opacity tool, we're blending with a paper towel and a paintbrush. Okay, so that is looking really pretty. So now, but it's too hard. It's still too hard. So I need you to soften it. So what I would do is I would go as if I was lengthening it. I would take the paper towel and go, and out, like out. Yeah, yes, exactly. Long and out. Yes, much better. Yes, good job. Yes, and down a little bit around her shoulder. Yes, look how much prettier that is.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh my God, so now, yes, so pretty.
Should I put some highlight, a little bit of lighter to get some highlights in there, or just?
Yeah, you could put a little highlight in there, which could be like a light gray that you make, or it could be, yeah, you could put a little highlight in there.
Yeah, a little white. I got tiny bits of stuff here. Okay. Yeah, all this, for some reason, it's all so dried out. Well, Arizona's dry, so I have to remember that.
Oh yeah, maybe you need like a little humidifier, like a little mister. I remember like being in Palm Springs and people had like
Oh, that's
mixture.
interesting.
They were spraying, yeah, like humidity in
Yeah,
the air.
maybe that's it. Okay. So it's got a little bit more, so I should not go
Do
white
you
on it.
like it? I mean, what do you?
Yeah, much better, much, 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 much better.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we want to do the equal and opposite thing to the bottom of her dress. So
Okay.
we want to do we want to hand paint the dress.
Okay, I'm just gonna get another brush and I'll clean this one later for the white. Yeah, this is really tiny. Oh, okay, so this is great techniques. Even though, I didn't like this, it's really good for me to learn how to do this, what we're doing. It's
Right.
really
So,
good.
but at a certain point, even for me, like I just say bye bye in caustic wax
Right.
because you're annoying and hard to work with, and you argue, and you're stubborn, you're heavy, like whatever vocab words you want to use. I mean, and those are sort of some of the things that we like about the medium, but then there are also some of the things that like possibly push us in other directions to use other techniques to kind of get the look we want.
Right. Okay, I'm getting this dry pigment stick. Okay, so I'm just so sad that I lost the beauty of the lace on the hem. But for now, let me
No, I
just
think
see.
well, that's what I was saying is like if you want to add the lace back in with the wax, you're going to just use wax medium and you can add more lacy texture like really anywhere. Like you could add it even like a couple inches away from her dress, like to create that sort of illusion of the dress being like under the water and then back up. You know how water is? It's like when you go under the water and it comes back up on the other side. Like, so lace could be like further into the dark corner, just like randomly there in a semicircle or just in a stream. Like those are kinds of things that I think that you have the power to suggest, and again, it's not being.
So not even her dress, not even the dress, but just do a texture, a little lace edge texture, just to like over here. You mean?
Just pop it on there with some. You just pop it on there with what lace pattern. What lace do you have that you're using? Do you have scraps of lace around?
I do. Yeah, man, since I started taking these workshops with you, I've been. Oh, I could use that lace. Oh, I could use this.
Are they things that you have in your studio, or are there things that you purchase?
No, basically, the things I have are like there's one lace vest that doesn't work for me. I just cut it up.
Oh, good job. Yeah, that's what I like to do.
Yeah. So.
And you know what? It's funny. Like even some of like the cheaper, less like the less expensive, lacy stuff actually works really well.
Let me go get some. So over here up. So I'm liking this better.
Yeah. I want the dress to go down in the direction of her hair. Like I want the dress, even if it doesn't actually go there, and I don't want it to have any.
Oh, down this way.
Yeah, I want it to go from her hip, like down. Yeah, yeah. And I don't want there to be any hard lines defining where the dress is. So do you see how you have like a curve down here at the end? I mean, that needs to be lightened and the dress needs to be expanding. Yeah.
Just this way. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes dress lines sort of make themselves. And a lot of times I just make them accidentally. The best dress form that works for me is actually a triangle and not a circle.
Okay.
So, and it's not a literal triangle. It's not a literal triangle. It's basically like a triangle from the waist out, and then the whole. So it's an open-ended triangle, and then the whole connection can be open-ended.
Right. So I kind of sketched out.
I think that's good, but I would not try to make that a solid. Like I would try to make that like.
Because it's going to be in and out of the water.
Very abstracted, yeah. And I wouldn't bell it. Like I would do the line that you're doing off her butt, but I wouldn't do the connect it. I wouldn't try to close that shape.
Okay, maybe do some of this stuff.
Yep. And then, okay, so now take a paper towel and just, now take a paper towel and just blend it.
Okay. So I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to continue doing the encaustic with you, but I was going to ask you if should I be taking just like a basic course in painting, like, because I feel like all this stuff, or should I just continue, and just learn it, with you as I'm going? Because it's really just, it's not because I want to paint, it's because I want to get better at the
No,
art part
I
of
think,
it.
I don't know. I don't, that's, depends. I think, uh, I think you'll learn as you go.
Okay, all right.
I think your photo knowledge is so extensive that I don't know. I feel like you'll learn as you go.
Okay.
I think to me, honestly, that the photos will teach you how to paint if you listen to
I think
them.
you're right.
If you
But
listen,
I looked at- Yeah.
if you listen to them and you practice, they will teach you how to paint because
Okay.
they have the content of what you need to do. You just need to learn, you know, when to do which thing, like when to.
Because the
And I don't think,
lazy thing that I lost when I went back, I said, "Oh my gosh, it's so much more beautiful in the photo. How do I get that back?" Yeah, I see what you're saying. And
right, and you don't want to get it back. You just want to make it better in a new way. Like you want to blur the lines between photography and painting.
yeah,
You want to.
right. Okay, so I'm putting some more of the white highlights in the dress. Yeah, already I'm liking that a lot better. Any suggestions you want me to?
Yeah, I want to see it. Yeah.
Can you see it? Now, why?
You have to kind of.
I'm gonna go and get the lace that I have just so you see. But it's big. Well, actually, I have some little ones too. I'll go get that.
Okay.
So this lace, this lace. Yeah, this is the one that I love. This was somebody brought this from Spain for me, and then I cut it the vest, and I cut it up. And I thought if I use
Oh yeah, I love that.
yeah, and it
Oh, I
doesn't
love that.
color doesn't matter.
You could use a big piece of that, and because it's a corner, if you want to kind of create a corner of the dress down there, you could. You could use a big piece of that, but I would go not even at the end of where you drew it, but I would go like further away.
Like down this way.
Like right here, in between this line and the corner. No, over. Over. Like, yeah, like in there. Yeah, I would go.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Right, because you really want to create this like larger than life, right? And the reason that you even are bothering to paint these is to kind of create this otherworldly feeling, and you're, going into surrealism and all of these sort of fun imaginary, you're not, there's a reason that you were drawn to this medium, it wasn't just to literally describe your photos that you've already taken.
Right.
So
I love what you do with them. So yeah. So now should I cut it or just lay it down?
No, don't cut it, because if you cut it, then you can't use it in another. Don't cut it. Lay it down, and then just brush the wax loosely on it. So you want a loose texture. You don't want a literal texture. You want like a bumpy, messy texture.
Well, and should I put some white?
No, I would just do it with wax medium. I would just do it with wax medium. I would stay away from committing to a color.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a paintbrush for the texture, and I'm going to daub it, right?
You're going to use just wax medium, and you're going to use not a paint. You're going to use a hake brush.
A hake brush. Okay.
Yeah, you can't get it on there enough.
Hake brush. I've got the perfect one. Let me soften it up. I pushed so hard on when I broke it. So it's good to do this kind of thing. It's like,
You pushed so hard you broke it on the hockey brush?
Yeah.
Oh, poor brushy.
Oh, but they're
Poor
such
brushy. Oh, you brushed this, you broke the wood handle.
the wood handle.
Pam, you're a muscle mama.
No, it's just because they're cheap brushes.
That's funny.
It was. I thought, oh, I can still use this. So it's fine for this kind of thing. Let's see. Okay. Yes, it has to be really hotter. I think it's not hot enough. It's gonna be really thick texture. You can see it's dry. I don't know if it's going to, may not have been hot enough. Come here. Yeah, I don't think I really got. Oh, here it is. Yeah, at the end. It's. Oh, there we go. Ooh. It's really bumpy here. I'm not sure it took over here.
That's okay. We don't care. Let it do what it wants to do. Trust in the gods, right? Trust in the art gods. Let it do. Yeah, let it do what it wants. Right. And I still want it further away than that. That's still too close. I want you to do one further away, and it's going to be terrifying, but I want you to do one further away, like closer to where, almost to the corner.
Over here.
Yeah, right there. Just
doesn't have to be. Okay, so it doesn't have to be attached to her dress.
No,
it could be.
Please, I don't want it attached. I want it not attached. I want it not attached. Yeah, right?
Okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Okay. Okay, this should be hotter now. Oh, this should be really nice. I'm so glad we're doing this.
Well, right. And I think what we're doing is really, you really have to like take that leap, like from, it's kind of like when you're a little kid and you're crossing the creek and then you're like, oh, I can go from this stone to this stone, but oh, I could go all the way over there. Like, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go.
That's the way I felt when I was doing the, just the flower, using the pan pastels. It's just like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but just get in there and do it. Okay, this is coming. This is coming. Oh, it's not sticking. I don't like this. This one didn't stick here. Oh. I think I would do it more down this way. So it needs. I feel like it needs a little connection.
Oh, I like
here.
It. No, I like it. Leave
Just
it.
like
that. Yep.
What about this black blot?
Nope, I like it because that creates a positive and negative space. So the only thing I don't like now is I really don't like how you rounded her skirt over her leg. Like that's got to go. So
this part?
Yeah, that's got to go. You got to just open that up.
You got to open this way?
Just scrape it off. Just or cover it up with more wax medium or just like open it up. It's like, because like, why should she have a bell there? Like we're opening up that whole end of her dress to the water. Like we're like opening it up to the water. So we don't want a hard curve there to hold us back.
Quick heat guns to soften it. Yeah, that I was literal with I was looking at the photograph because it's it's curved like a bell in the photograph. Okay. How's yours going? What you're doing?
It's good. You know what? I take them slow. Like I think it looks better. Like I got her face to come back. And I opened up like this pattern. I opened up, this is really deep. So like you talk about your gesso, like this white is gesso. But like now I have to figure out if it's going to be another like more flowers. I think I just like it like very, random back there, but again, like I have to tweak the colors. And sometimes I like to just do a little and walk away from it.
Yeah, it's been good to do something like I do it on the weekend and go away from it. And then you're showing me how to look at it in a different way. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. I'll just show you quickly up in this area. See, it's up, oh, I don't know if it's up here. I'm just pulling this away.
Yeah, much better. And just break up that bell. Break up the bell. It's because like that's distracting from the like water. Like it's like that's like, you know, you're trying to control form and really we just want to like lose it. We want to lose it. So yep. And look, and then you can blend it. Once you take the wax down, you could blend it with a little bit of dark gray over the white, which will just break up the line.
This, okay.
You can really just get these pigment sticks to kind of push and pull what you want people's eye to pay attention to. And this is definitely where the painting comes into play. But like, you can really start to manipulate lights and darks, right? So darks go back, you know, and like this, I love what you did with the lace in her dress. So now you want the dress to just be able to go like this out into the water, you know? Because her hair looks so much better. You just don't want her forced into a form. So literally everything we've done has been right on target. You have this beautiful background. Now you just need to use your pigment sticks and a little bit of wax medium to push and pull the direction and the shape of her body and how she's connecting to the background. All right, stop what you're doing. You don't need to do that anymore. So you just need to take a little bit of dark gray.
Okay.
Or black pigment stick and blend. So do you see the areas of her dress? Like this is a highlight white right here under her arm, right? This is highlight. Now this is too bright. This should be dark gray.
This should be dark.
The end of her dress. This should be dark gray. The fold and that dark gray needs to just go straight out into the water. Yes, right there. There shouldn't be any type of hard line there.
Okay. Let me get my, okay, so this is the gray. No, I'll just cover that. I can cover that. Now this is, the texture is bumpy, but so I'll just go ahead right over that, or should I melt it a little bit?
What texture is bumpy?
Where I was scraping.
Okay, yeah, and why are you brushing? No, over that line. No, I want you to go right over that line. Over it.
This line.
Yes,
this
over.
One?
Yeah, over it. Jump it. Go over it. Go through it.
Dump it. Dump it.
On it. In it. Yeah, go in it. There you go. Nice. In it. Yes, break up that line. She's yes, yes. And then yep, you can leave a little bit of white there and then take a jump and jump to, yep. Much better. Now take a paper towel and blend that towards her leg, right? So her leg is like this beautiful flowy thing. Blend it towards her leg. And then you can blend it over that white a little bit more. Oh, you froze. Oh, so much better. Yep. And can you see it now? And blend it. And then you can put a little bit more white on there and a little bit more gray. So you have to be sort of following the line of her leg, right? And also you don't want any hard lines there. So do you see where her leg is? Yeah, that's her leg. So put a little bit of white on the gray where her leg would be. Yep, and then that's it. That's all. Yep, gentle. Yep. Then this, whatever this is right here, this, whatever this curve is, that's got to go. This is not here. This has got to go. Yeah.
I can't wait. This. Should I blend the white in here?
No, it looks fine. So this, go to the left. Yeah, that has to go.
This.
No, that's good.
Okay.
The other part has to go. The little
This part.
curve. Yeah, that has to be broken up, but this other
Hang on a
curve
second.
too.
Puppy's in the- Wait a minute. Roo, you're not allowed in here.
Oh, I want to see her. I want to see
I'm
her.
gonna bring her
Wait,
over.
let me
She's
see
so
her.
cute.
I have to see Pam. Let me see. Let me see her. Oh,
Okay. Ah,
she's so cute.
escape puppy. Escape puppy.
Oh my God, she's so cute.
She is. Oh, wow. And she wants to get in here and help me. Oh yes. Okay, so I'm doing all of it this way. Okay. So that's going to be more like the gray part going out this way. Okay, good. Let's go this way. Whoa, that's too dark. Okay, lighten it up a bit. Okay, a little bit of blending. Escape puppy, oh no.
Escape puppy. I love it. I want
She's,
to.
the whole house is turned upside down. I mean, it's just puppy land, right?
Oh,
I rolled all the rugs up.
how did you find
Yeah,
her?
all the Kent, my partner, got her in Phoenix when he was staying with he was
Did you
babysitting a
know?
girl.
Did you know he was gonna get her?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we knew. I knew. And if he hadn't gotten her, I would have tried to get something, but he did a much better job.
Oh,
Yeah, she's really cute. Okay, I don't like this.
let me see. Let me see. How's it go? Let me see.
It's better. It's better. I don't like this black flop over here.
It's so much better. Okay, you still gotta get rid of that. You got. It's so much better. So it's starting to really feel like her hair, like what you did with her hair is amazing.
Yeah.
So what you're doing with the dress now is better. And then what you're just gonna have to work towards is just where is like just live with it. And where do you want, because okay, what this is what happens with the wax. It's such a pain in the ass. Okay, is that while you're working on it, even though you're adding light and dark, it's kind of like you're adding light, you're adding dark, but at some point they just flatline. It's almost like they lose their pulse. They just become like the same and they don't have dimension. So then you have to start to think about, okay, if I scrape back this area and bring more detail to the photograph, that's going to help me have more definition. And then if I'm able to sort of separate really dark and really light and start to get things to move around, because as you're adding, it's looking good, but then at a certain point, like how we came into it today, you flatlined.
It was flat. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And now because her hair is going back into the water and her skirt is opening up, things are moving again. Right?
Yeah, no, I see it. I see now. I see. I had a feeling. I thought I'm not going to touch this. I'm just going to let.
No, it's good.
I mean, drive me through this because it's like. Let's see, a little bit. No, rub that in. Yeah, so I see that. Yeah, I'm getting it. Let's get this. Go this way. More of this stuff. Okay. So I should just continue with working the dress, blending. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
like,
and I
like
mean,
this.
and I think like too, like even that new like waxy lace that you put on there, don't you dare put white on there. If anything, put black around it and just let it be wax. Like sometimes just plain wax is really good. Like don't make it white.
Okay.
I mean, maybe a tiny bit. And also like the other corner down there, now you're gonna want to play with just like, yep, you can use your Pam pastels, right? If it's dry, if it's not oily or wet with pigment sticks, you can use your Pam pastels and you can just tone it darker down there, right? You could use your pigment sticks. So
I think I'll stick with the pigment sticks because Yeah, I think I'll just stick with the pigment sticks and work with the pan pastels, yeah, on something else, because, yeah, okay, so I can do the gray over here and blend it in.
Well, yeah,
Now,
yeah, just and wherever you feel like it's too white, just go over the white gently, you know, and maybe even
should I
like,
put some blender in to get it to go in the little holes
yeah,
more?
if you add the blender, right, you're diluting it and you're making it a little bit more. If you add the blender, you're making it a little bit more just like liquid, right?
It'll,
And that allows it to go into those
yeah,
spaces, right?
because
More, it allows it to go into those spaces.
it'll be smoother.
Right.
Yeah.
And it also makes it, what else does it do to it, Pam? It
Wait,
makes it what? The
oh, it makes it
taper.
more transparent.
Yes. And that's really like nice because it just allows you to move what I always say, just a little bit more slowly towards something. Right.
Mhm.
And it's not about like a speedy fix, you know? And remember, like every little thing that you do changes everything, right? Because even
Mhm.
though you're just working on a part, your eye sees the thing as a whole, right? So you can
Mhm.
start to think about those relationships. Like, am I seeing it, as all of it or just a part of it?
Just at one point, yeah.
Right. It's funny how you sort of, as the artist, you always tend to sort of like hyper focus on a part. And then you're
Mhm.
like, well, wait, that's just a part of,
Yeah.
right? Like
Well,
stand back from it, you know?
I also found it really helpful though to take pictures of the details because
Uh-huh.
that's when I saw, oh my gosh, I love what's happening with the pan pastels. I love what's happening here. Uh,
Right.
so that was helpful to go in and then and actually looking at the photo of it sometimes helps me see better
Right. And
what.
you can, and look, if you start to feel like her hair is too heavy, you can you can take a little bit of that paint off. You can really control how dense, right?
Okay.
And you don't want to make it all black. Like you want
Yeah.
there to be light on the water, right? Water has, right? If you look at a bunch of pictures, if you Google like water
Yeah.
picture, the light bounces off the water in all kinds of interesting
Well,
ways, right?
that's what I was trying to do here, but I just didn't like it. I put some lighter
Right, and
gray.
it's not even like or dislike, it's just that it's not there yet. Like, right? And change your vocabulary. Like
Okay. Okay.
like we don't, it just, right. I mean, you could decide that you want to switch directions with it, right? Which would be like, like we talked about, how do we switch directions? We end up, scraping more off or adding more, right? Or adding another leg. But
Okay. All right.
we don't just talk about, we don't say like, we always give it a chance to evolve in the, right?
Okay.
Evolve. We talk about, evolution and
So nothing is in stone.
nothing is in stone with this medium. Absolutely not. I mean, and technically, like in Photoshop too, like as long as you have your original raw file,
Mhm.
you could go in there every day, all day, and and it looks so much better. My God, like major better. Now it's starting to really look, it's the aspects of it are working with each other. They're not working against each other, and you're blending the forms, you know,
And it doesn't feel as flat.
Right. And another way to make, so you don't too, I just want to tell you that you might think that you have white at the top, but you don't. The only place that you really have white is on her
Right.
middle of her dress and her cheek, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you really want to have some light coming from the top on it, you could think about either going back to, so like I'm talking about like the top edge up there.
Yeah, yeah. So just
You really just have a shade of gray. And if you remember back to photo stuff too, remember there's a hundred and something shades of gray.
yeah, I can see that. So should I put some white pigment soup up there and then just rub it in?
Yeah, but you need to figure out exactly where your light is coming from and where you want to put that.
Okay, I see well, I was gonna say this, it has the light coming from here, but on her, actually, it's coming here. The light's coming this way. So I should change this more, darken this, make this a little lighter.
I would do that. I think that's like the last thing you need to do.
Okay.
Like it's kind of like when everything else is together, you know, it's kind of like in baking when everything is sort of where you want it to be, then you add like the powdered sugar, right?
And
Like
that's the light source.
yeah, the light source.
Okay.
And you add it very, very subtly.
Okay. This was an infrared originally, so
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, that's why I like infrared on water because it's black, makes the water black.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I love that. The water, you sent me a little card with one of the prints. I love the water picture that you had there.
Oh, yeah, that was a pool.
that.
Was it the girl on the raft with like the blue one? That's a good one.
Yeah, I love it. It's
Oh my
this
God,
one.
we did that photo shoot a couple summers ago, and I think it was like 110 degrees.
I believe it. It's
It
this
was
one.
like crazy. It like usually doesn't get that hot here, and for whatever reason that day, I mean, thankfully we were like at a pool, but it was so hot.
Well, that's what we couldn't do it this summer, but last summer um, I went out, in the creek. We did some pool stuff, but also
Oh, I love the creek.
yeah. So it was nice. I like that. Okay, I'm getting.
Yeah, I did some pools. Yeah, I'm gonna actually be working on a water image coming up. I don't know if you saw it. It was on my Facebook, but she was actually like climbing up out of a hot tub. My friend has this.
No, I didn't see it. No, I'd like to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll email to you. Just remind me if I. Sometimes by the time it's funny, like sometimes by the time I get on my computer, there's like very little of me left. So I'm like, I know there's a bunch of things I'm supposed to be doing right now, but I don't know what they are. But if people have like emailed me and said like, Leah, do this, I'm like, oh yeah, I can easily do that. But like for me to like think of what to do, I'm like, because I feel like I'm like thinking and moving like all day.
Well, you are. I mean, I'm just amazed,
And then I get like, oh shit, I gotta
gotta get on it.
no, I just like can't think of what I need to do. And I know I like told somebody I would do something for them, and I'm like trying to like, remember all the things I said I would share. I'm like, oh shit. No, I think that looks so much better. And again, like you don't need any type of hard line where you're merging the black and the gray. And I think right now you're still too hard on, where they're at the top above her. Yeah, up there. Yeah, I still think you're too hard. Where those two areas are connecting, I just think you're not going to like it because what you're resisting to is sort of like these defined spaces that are occurring. And then you're like, oh, I don't like that. So
Okay.
okay, I should probably run. I gotta go to another thing.
Okay,
but
this is great.
Okay,
so
good day, really good day. I hope you're happy. And
I'm much happier. I do want to go ahead with the other one, but I'll wait. So should we set up another time, or do you want to do it online?
Yeah, I could do next week, Wednesday. I have to go make a video. I have to go to school and
you know what? Just email me and I'll remind you. Tell me a good time.
I think next Friday could work.
Yeah, that should be good.
Okay.
I'll check that, but yeah, okay. All right.
I think next Friday, whatever. I think, and I'm gonna try to go just kind of take a day outside and go. One of my girlfriends had like 2 babies with my babies, and then she went and had like 2 more babies. Oh,
wow.
I know. And I feel like I don't even know those kids because who has time for little kids right now? Like,
oh, when are you going to Texas? That's the other thing.
December 4th, 5th, and 6th. The first
that's still time. Okay. All right.
I'm going to Texas in the beginning of December.
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm going to be brave.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God, great day. I'll send you this recording too. I'll send you this recording probably tomorrow morning.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome. Bye-bye. Good job. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. bye. Enjoy your baby. What's your baby's name?
Rue, as in kangaroo.
Ah, Rue. I love it.
She's Aussie.
Oh, all right. Have fun. Okay.
Thank
See
you.
ya. Bye. Bye, Pam.
Bye.